Here we go. Salute to Knicks Nation. CP from KnicksFanTV here. Another episode of the Post Up. I'm at my guy Chris Shamus's house. 34-year season ticket holder. You guys gotta see this fan cave. Trust me, it's unbelievable. Let's take a look.
How we doing?
Good, man.
Welcome to the Nook. Welcome to the Knicks Nook.
Cave.
Here it is. So we'll start in the hallway here. Got my collection of Sports Illustrated, signed by each, going back to the 70s. You got your Bradleys,
The Busher,
the Human Eraser, for God's sakes.
Marvin Webster, Clyde, Jerry West.
It's
May 7th,
going.
73. This Starks one is dope, right?
Starks is great, one of my favorites.
Autographed.
We got the Bomb Squad. All represented here, and the interesting fact about that is they were known for the three-point shot, and if you remember, I think they had like 100, 118, 20, something like that, threes that year.
Yeah.
I mean, the Warriors do that in, what, a week?
The Bomb Squad was ahead of its time, man. Yeah. Rick Pitino, you had Johnny Newman, Mark Jackson, you had Trent Tucker, you had young Rod Strickland.
Yeah, young Rod Strickland.
And then you had Patrick Ewing, man.
Yeah.
Patrick Ewing could have played in today's NBA. And the versatility that he had, even in those days, offensively, I mean, the Bomb Squad was incredible.
Incredible.
All right, so let's take a look at some of the jerseys, man.
So obviously, we're starting off with the big fella,
Captain.
Got to start with Patrick.
Only right.
So we got that, but while that's not game worn, we'll start with the jerseys. So this is just like, I mean, I've collected so many jerseys over the years, I don't even know what to do with them. So I just pulled out a couple of ones I thought would be a little bit more special.
Yeah.
You got your John Starks,
this is
All-Star.
one of my favorites, man.
This is the one I think you promoted once upon a time.
Definitely, man.
Not a game worn, but this was done by, back in the day, I was telling you about Jerry Cosby. Jerry Cosby was the store that used to be under the Garden, and they used to actually do the jerseys for the Knicks before all these other companies came along. So this was one, I remember right after the All-Star game, they were numbering these things up, and I just grabbed one because I was a big Starks guy. So,
nice.
So that's that one. Later got it signed. What else we got? We got Oakley. This is game worn.
Oak.
I don't remember when, but
the
this.
home whites is so crispy, man, and always harder to get.
I mean, you got to bring the guy back into the Garden.
Oak has got to come back home, man.
But yeah, so that's got Oak Tree.
Nice.
We still love you. You got LJ, game worn.
Yeah, these 50th anniversary.
This is the 50th anniversary.
Nice, man.
They're nice. Gotta bring them back.
These are
gotta bring them back.
Man.
There you go. You got the LJ.
Autographed by LJ.
50th anniversary year. Now this is my guy. I like this guy. This is one of the guys I know. Rory Sparrow.
This is
Rory
one
Sparrow.
of your guys, man.
One of my guys. He's the guy feeding Bernard.
Number 2. So
and
this is a Cosby.
Yeah, there's the Cosby.
This is a Jerry Cosby original.
Got Rory to sign it for me.
No longer in business. Rare jersey.
Rare jersey.
Autographed by number 2.
Now Cosby's still around. You just have to leave the Garden, and I think it's on 32nd.
So they still make jerseys.
Oh yeah. Oh, no, not for the Knicks, but they're a jersey maker. They're a jersey maker.
Okay. What else we got here?
You got your game worn Patrick.
Now the
fan
fan base is still waiting for the Knicks to release these jerseys, the 9-7 jerseys. I loved it with the black down the stripe. I don't know if they're gonna bring them back out, man.
Maybe one day. Maybe one day.
Yeah.
And then you got your Melo. This I think we got from the team. This being a season ticket holder, I think they gave these to us.
I liked how they put the this Knicks logo at the top.
Yeah, that's nice.
I did like
that's
that.
Nice.
Yeah, man.
But I got a million other jerseys, and I can bore you to death with them. But yeah, so those are some of the better ones.
Nice.
Moving over here, what can we say about the dunk? I think it speaks for itself.
Classic, and this is autographed by John.
Autographed by John. Late Anthony Mason.
Rest in peace to Mace, man. What was your impressions of Mace?
Quick story on Mason, another Knick event that I went to. Fantastic guy. What I remember most about him is I was with my late grandfather, who I was really close with, and my family, and they had all the Knicks stationed at all the different tables, and it was like an autograph sign. I said it earlier in the interview where you brought the ball around, kind of thing. So after I think they have an hour obligation, so you get on the different lines. So there'd be a table with like Hubert and Mason and Ewing and whoever and Oakley and whatever. So I remember going around the whole room and the time was up and everybody kind of left the room. There's like a lot of people there. Mason was the only guy who stayed and signed every single thing for everybody. And I remember my grandfather getting online and I was like, why are you, he goes, I want to be last. And when he got to the end of when he finally got up to Mason, he shook his hand. He said, "I just wanted to thank you for doing what you did." So
nice.
He really special guy.
New York.
Special guy.
We definitely miss him.
94 finals. Took this from the team store back in the 94 finals. Closest I might get to a championship, but hey, better than not having
it. The paper mache copy is better than nothing.
That's it. So yeah, so we got some Knick history here. My little library, my Knick library, we'll call it.
The Knicks library.
The Knicks library.
Okay.
Most of the books, I would say 95% of them are signed by whomever. A couple I'll point out. We'll start with Holtzman. So legendary Red Holtzman, who's from Long Island. Right, so he was kind enough to sign this for me. To Chris, a true Knicks fan, Red Holtzman.
There you go.
So you got that. You got that.
Legendary.
And then you get the polar opposite book. Then you got to go. Then you move over to Barkley. Now he's not a Knick, but I am in the sports and entertainment industry. And one of my coworkers at the time did an event with him, and at the time he had this book out, and he had kind of a gag gift for me. He had Barkley.
Typical Charles.
Had Charles sign his name. We know he likes to bash the Knicks a little bit, right?
Oh, he loves it.
Stop it, Charles. If you're listening, stop it.
He lives for it.
All right. So anyway, so Charles, to Chris, what about the Knicks? They suck. There you go. Thank you, Charles. I already know.
You can't forget that one, man.
So then you got your other ones. You got
crazy.
Yeah. So what else we got? We got my son's first game and my daughter's first game. Ticket stub signed, both by Fraser.
This is legacy right here.
Legacy.
Man.
We'll pass.
This starts their caves.
So this starts their caves. This is where you start.
Nice.
So her first game, his first game. I got to get a frame. What else we got? We got a piece of the floor, Bernard. This was
60-point game.
60-point game.
That's Christmas Day, 1984. Bernard King. So this is from Madison, the court.
Yes, this is the
Madison
championship court. This is the court he played on and had him sign that. Nice. So that was kind of cool. Even though they lost, it was still Christmas, right?
You have the Starberries.
Got the Starberry.
Come on.
Yeah, $15.
$15, man.
With the autograph, it's what does that bring the value up to?
Would you play basketball these right now?
Probably not. Probably not. Probably not.
Immediately.
Probably not.
Yeah, but shout out to Steph for having that.
Yeah, so we got that.
Community. Well, what do we got going on here, man?
Let's move on. Let's move on. Okay, so we got pieces of the floor. Willis Reed, where he limped out.
So this is a piece of the floor?
That's a piece of the floor. Nice. You got Dave DeBush. I don't know if you know, but he used to play baseball.
Yes, Dave DeBush was a good baseball player.
So I got a little baseball sign.
Let's talk about this.
Well, this is your choking. If you're choking, you need to have some sort of. I think every place you could potentially eat should have one of these.
You were at this game.
I was at this game. And I remember, what I remember most about it is this was the game where he hit what was it? So that's 7 points in 9 seconds or something. So I remember putting on, I thought it was out of hand. We were all putting our jackets, it was game one, putting our jackets on, talking about game two. Half the building was already leaving, and then it happened. Oof. And I just, the air in the building.
He fouled, I think it was Greg Anthony, man. He fouled him. And then he looks over at Spike. That was just painful.
Tough. It was tough. Reggie was, he was tough. Reggie was one of those guys who really, you know what? I could probably attribute some of him to me being the fan that I am today, too.
Hey,
you have to have your enemies. You have to have your enemies.
The enemies.
You got your Jordans. You got your Tim Hardaways. You got those guys. I mean. Yeah, they probably helped fuel who I am today.
I agree, man. Yeah. I think it definitely contributed to the emotions.
What's Batman without the Joker?
That's it.
What's Batman without the Joker?
The storylines of the game. The enemy certainly contributed to
That's it. So you got some of your signs here. A lot of the giveaways that they used to do, the headshots.
This is my favorite one, right?
Reggie chokes. Yeah, that's special.
Yeah,
that's special.
Special.
You got your game sevens here. We'll just open this up real quick. We'll give you. It's a lot of mess here, but we got your jerseys, your Mellow when he first came. 94.
Oh, man, this is beautiful, man.
Pull that one out. I had a couple patches added to the Mitchell and Ness, the finals patch.
Nice.
I think that was for 99. Someone was that. I don't remember. Somebody passed and they added that. We'll throw that one out there for now. Got more Ewing. You got your Frazier, King, old school King.
Old King, yep.
Got more Mason. Porzingis will skip through that.
Skip that.
It's probably a good place to start. It goes on and on. We can go here all day, but you got your pennants. That one came back from me from Houston.
Okay.
And then you got the chairs.
So tell us about these chairs.
So this I got from a collector. I think it was. I think they were called. Gotta Have It. It's in New York. They're really big on a lot of, really like crazy vintage stuff. But yeah, you could see this goes back to like 1925.
So this is from the original garden, 1925.
So you got your Rangers Stanley Cup in 1940. Well, it actually goes back to 27. The Knicks debuted against the Chicago Stags in 46. Joe Louis fight against Rocky Marciano. And it goes on, but yeah. So these are pretty vintage.
Nice.
Yeah. Good piece. Got your coffee table book. What's a coffee table?
George Kalinsky, the famed photographer for the New York Knicks.
So he signed it along with Red Holtzman, Earl Monroe, Bill Bradley, Dean Meminger, the late Dean Meminger,
Clyde
DeBusschere, Clyde, Reed.
Nice.
And then we display it on our, Steiner had this piece put out. This is a piece of the floor before the renovation. So not the championship floor.
Okay.
But this is when they renovated.
So this is pre the most recent renovation champion.
Yes. Far from championship floor.
Far from championship.
Let's be clear, it's far from championship floor.
Turmoil, drama,
drama floor. Yeah. Drama happens on this table.
Okay. You got your hat collection here?
Got my hat collection here, and I have one for you. I know you give all these hats away.
Nice.
We got a new hat that we can... I got to pass something along so you can give it away.
Listen, man, I kind of want to keep this one, man, but we're going to give this away to the fans, so stay tuned for the giveaway, because this is hard.
Little piece of the Knicks nook that I can leave you with. See, moving along the big memories here, right?
Yeah, so this looks like we got like a wall of game memories, man. Take us through some of these.
So, obviously, the Houston shot from '99 that started the Miracle Run. I wasn't at the game, but I got this little clapper here. I had a friend who was a Heat fan. He was happy to give this up. So anyway, maybe one day I'll get Alan. Alan, if you're watching, maybe you'll sign this for me one day. Get you in here. Got your Game 7. I took this. Now, I don't know if a lot of people know this, but I actually got the opportunity. Here you go. That was the jump ball from Game 7 that I took with my...
This is Game 7 in Houston.
In Houston. After...
All the marbles.
All the marbles.
Everything on the line.
So when Game 6, when Starks went crazy and almost won it until Olajuwon blocked it, sitting with my family, we looked at each other and we said... We're going. Like, we were so emotionally invested. We're going. So we got tickets, bought a flight, flew down. I got upper levels, expensive tickets still back then. And who am I sitting with? When I get to my seat, I had Tony Starks, his brother.
John Starks'
brother during the
Incredible.
The 2 for 18. Then you had I took this picture with his mom and, I think, late mom and grandma.
His mom and his grandma, wow.
Right there. So I was sitting with them, and I remember you said you have this sign. I'm going to need one of those.
Yeah, I do have that all about.
That's mine. That's mine. I don't think it made it back.
So this is Chris sitting here
back in
with
the day.
John Starks' family as he's building a brick house.
Yes.
To lose the finals,
the brick house.
Oh, man.
They look happy there. I don't know if they were that happy, but I know I do remember them. They were very supportive, standing, cheering. They were saying, "We love you, JT." I mean, that must be his nickname to them.
I mean, how did you feel sitting there, man?
You know, Tony Starks, I remember his brother was very focused. He didn't talk much. He was just like about the game. They were very cheerful. I was struggling with it. I mean, it was tough, because I'm a John Starks guy. So, it brings up a great question that everybody talks about is, do you pull him or do you play him?
A lot of people wanted Rolando Blackman.
Yeah, and it's funny. I'm one of the few that actually believe that you roll with Starks. I mean, as bad as he was, he's the kind of guy who can go 2 for 18, but hit that last shot. But yeah, it was hard.
He was a streaky player.
He was a streaky player, and you've seen it before. He would come through. Hindsight's 20/20. Who knows? So I met Harper and I met Rolando, and Rolando, they were the nicest people, and we started talking about it. And Rolando actually turned to me and he told me a funny story. He said, I was ready. We talked about that moment, and he said, I was ready to play. I'm a veteran. I had the best history against this team. It was frustrating that I couldn't get in. Starks needed a break. He wanted to give him that break. And I remember he said, after the game, Riley apologized to him.
Wow.
That's what he told me. So I don't know. Take it for what it's worth. That's what he told me. But yeah, so that was kind of a tough game. Man. Tough game. There's no way around it. And you got your championships here.
Oh, glory, man.
Another Kalinsky.
Absolutely.
Kalinsky.
I mean, this is what I remember as a kid, man. When you used to have these things waving around, nobody beats the Wiz. Come on, man. Yeah. These are classic days, man.
Those are some of my favorite towels from the other. They used to give them every game, like they give you one. So I used to, I tried to make it. These are my personal banners, right? These are my little.
That's it.
That's all I got right now.
Small victories.
We're about small victories.
Small victories.
We got Melo. This was his first game.
You were at this game?
I was at this game.
Wow.
And that's a piece of the net. This was a Steiner piece.
Nice.
But yeah, so I got a little memory from that. That was my ticket stub. Tony Douglas.
I was so hyped for this, man. You sent me the preview, the MSG preview video.
It hyped you up, right?
I still remember like it was yesterday.
Yeah.
I was so hyped for this moment.
So great.
Unfortunately, it didn't lead to much, but as a mellow guy, I was happy he came home.
But we had that moment.
We had that moment.
These were from the Pacers series. One of them was crumbling apart, and you can't read it anymore. It's faded over the years, but it used to say Dog Pound. This was the pair he wore in the Pacers series.
Who?
Oakley.
Charles Oakley.
Wore these in the Pacers Eastern Conference Finals in '94.
And the Dog Pound, it was Oakley, it was Mason, everybody.
All those guys.
Went with the baldies.
Yeah.
Those are the days.
Those are the days. It's not like you came in black sneakers, the whole thing.
Yeah, that was it, man. It was an attitude, it was a feeling. That was what the Dog Pound was all about.
And that's the curse that we have. Those people who went through those '90s teams, that's what we're stuck with. That's why we can't leave.
It's hard to get it back.
And this is probably my favorite Knick moment in all of Knicks, is when he stood on the press table.
The iconic.
Like finally.
Clinching. Eastern Conference Finals, man. Yeah, this was it, man.
So that was pretty special.
And the captain embracing the faithful.
Yeah. So that was like kind of that was where I was at. That was as close to a championship, I guess, as I'll ever feel. At least what the Garden would be like. And then you got this. This is probably of all the things in my room, I would say the chairs.
Section 62. So
Section
this is
62.
The original.
These are not just the chair. So the story is this: I wanted my chairs when they were renovating, much like Steiner was giving away the Yankee chairs.
Yeah.
They had the rights to do the Garden chairs. Right. So I called.
So they took the chairs out and gave Steiner Sports.
Yes. Steiner had the rights to sell all their chairs.
Okay.
So I called Steiner. I'm like, I want a pair. They were like $800 or some crazy thing like that. But I said I want my chairs. I just assumed I can get my chairs. So they were like, no, but we could put a little plate on it. We'll say. I was like, no, I want my chairs. I mean, it's 25 years.
Yeah.
My late grandfather, my grandmother, my kid. Just everybody has sat in these chairs. My friends. I said I'm not going to settle for an imposter chair. I wanted my chairs. So long story short is they couldn't do it. So I'm pretty resourceful, as you can see. I called the Garden. I got all the way up to I'm not going to say his name, but let's just say he was president level of the Garden. Big wig at the Garden, who was kind enough to call me back, and he too shared the same sentiment. He goes, I was going to try to get chairs, really nice about it. He goes, there's just no way to manage that. So I was so frustrated. I gave up. I was like, you know what? I don't want it. And for me to give him up, it was really tough. I was just like, when you see this room and this was like a centerpiece for me. Yeah. So I was like, I finally decided, you know what? I'm just going to walk away. 2 weeks later, I get a call from the president. And he goes, we did it. We got your chairs. And I was just like floored. I was floored.
Nice.
And not only that, but I bought them directly from the Garden and did save myself the markup of a Steiner Sports.
And these were classic seats, man. I remember coming to these Knick games, Ranger games, the circus, Ringling Brothers, wrestling, all of that, man. This was classic MSG when you walked out, into the arena.
And we had the aisle seats too. Like this would be my mom's chair. Yeah. This would be my chair. This was on the aisle. And then there was a bar right here. So it was really nice because not only did we have the aisle, but people couldn't walk through.
Yeah, kind of.
Which is really nice. It was like a little
cut.
Personal seat.
Nice, man.
So moving on, you got the 4-point play, and whenever I'm feeling down and out, and it's tough, you just go like this.
Johnson is 3-point territory, but guarded tightly. Johnson cuts left, now fires a three, and it's good!
So when you're feeling down, it's my little pick me up.
Go to it, man.
And you got Marv Albert doing it.
Classic Marv. Classic moment, 4-point play.
Throw up the big L.
I mean, you just know where you were at this moment, and this was just electric, man.
So down here, we got the 94 team signed by the whole team.
Nice.
We got the 99 team. You got to have those. That's like I said, it's as close as we got. So those were kind of special. Moving on here, when he wasn't wearing ice packs, he got Ewan's knee pads.
these are classics, man.
I had the ice, but it melted.
At least these have gone through hell and back.
That's it. Or at least one of them. So so that was a pretty cool piece. You got Starks' sneakers. I think that was 96. I want to say. I can't remember.
Autograph.
The now defunct. This is kind of cool. This is a hat from. I don't know if you know. He had a wireless company. Allen Houston and John Starks Wireless, 3-point wireless.
I had no idea. 3-point wireless.
3-point wireless. Still have the hat. I don't know why, but a little classic piece there.
Yeah, man.
And then you got, there's this Knick room didn't happen overnight. So this is This is actually a smaller piece of what my room used to look like.
It's the original.
That's another one.
Original thing.
Yeah. So this actually won a contest, and I won some like gift card at the.
Okay.
So they had this on the screen at the Garden when I won.
Nice.
So this is a different version of it. Another piece.
Okay.
Another giveaway. It's a little John Starks autograph.
Wow.
So you can. I got to leave something behind.
John Starks.
Another one of my guys. Another one of my guys.
For the nation. Nice, man. Appreciate it, man.
No problem.
Thanks a lot,
Knicks
man.
Nation. Gotta pass some of this along.
Nice. So now that we took the tour, let's have a little talk, man. Let's talk about the current state of the Knicks.
Let's do it. Let's do it. Welcome to the cave.
Yeah, no doubt, man. So, 34 years season ticket holder. What's the history behind those season tickets?
Well, we've had season tickets since 86, 87. We've always had two back to the old Garden. And yeah, I would go with my mom and my father. They've since divorced, but back in the day, we used to rotate the tickets, much like the movie Fever Pitch. I don't know if you remember that movie. Fever Pitch. It used to be kind of a draft, and we'd look at the schedule and we'd figure out who we're gonna play and mix up the games. But yeah, for the most part, we'd kind of rotate games and been going since, God, as long as I know, 86,
87. I was still in diapers, wet in the bed, man. What were some of your earliest memories at the Garden in those days?
Well, my earliest memories are probably before I had season tickets. I think I started being a fan. I want to say the first star we had that I remember was Michael Ray Richardson, Sugar. Wonder where he got that nickname.
Nice.
But yeah, he was the first guy, and ultimately he was traded to who became Bernard King. And that's where it all started for me. I mean, growing up watching Bernard King was like my idol. And, we were lucky enough to get tickets in the 86, 87 year. I was there. One of the best memories I can remember being at the Garden was when Bernard came back from his injury and he had this crazy standing ovation, which was so impressionable.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, if only we had been able to keep him, through the Ewing years. And he had that second, if King had the second star, that being Ewing. Would have been unbelievable. Would have been unbelievable. And then they traded him, right?
Yeah.
And then he came back with he had the injury. They traded him, and turned out he went to become an all-star and dropped 49 on us, if I remember correctly.
What could have been, man?
Yeah.
Do you remember any of the 60-point games?
That was
Christmas.
That was the Christmas game. Yeah, I mean, back then, I used to watch as many games as I could, but when I couldn't see it, my late grandmother, she used to tell me what Bernard scored. Because sometimes it was past my bedtime back in the day. But yeah, no, I mean, Bernard was just that guy who I was lucky enough to work with later, being in the sports and entertainment industry. But, watching him play, he was just a scoring machine, just, kind of like, Carmelo Anthony was later. He's one of the best scorers I think I've ever seen play the game.
Shifting gears to the 90s, what was MSG like during that Ewing era in the early 90s?
I think we were still, as good as we were still angry with them. As good as we were.
We have high expectations.
Yeah, we have high expectations.
Always.
We want to win constantly. I remember, God, we used to kill Ewing. And it's funny, when I think about my favorite players, I think about Ewing, and he was never I loved Ewing. Don't get me wrong, but I think I really appreciated him most after he left.
We did. I remember even as a kid, those early days, you used to see the back pages. The papers used to kill him.
They threw the poster back on poster night.
Yeah.
He had it. And he was not very engaging with the fans. Sadly.
He had a tough relationship.
With the fans. Yeah. I remember that firsthand. I have stories when I used to go to events and. I'll tell one quick story. We were at a Knicks event. It was like '94. I had one of my team balls. I don't know, it's here somewhere. Where we were trying to get the whole team sign this ball. It was a regular basketball, and I remember going around the room. I had the whole team signed, and I went to go sign it with Ewing, and he said I can't sign a Spalding ball. So I had the whole team. Wow. He wouldn't sign a Spalding ball. So I'm like, oh man, I can't believe this. So I left. Next year, I come back. He needed to sign a Voigt ball at the time. So I came back with a Voigt ball the next year because these team events. He signed it, and then I went over to, you go around the room, and you get all the different players, and then they had Oakley there. And Oakley said, "Oh, I can't sign a Voigt ball." And I'm like, "You got to be kidding me!" and then he looks at me. Oakley looks at me holding the ball, and he goes,
It's Oak. Come on, Oak.
And Oak signed it, so
Yeah,
it was kind
nice.
of a funny story.
Nice,
kind of a
nice.
funny story.
That's
But that was his
unfortunate,
relationship with the fans. It was kind of a weird one. I think that
he was a polarizing figure, but you're right. I think the love is back now.
Big time.
Now that he's not there.
Because there's no centers like him anymore.
Yeah,
it's just a different
They don't
game.
make him like him, man. I think my earliest recollection of that was because he was Jamaican.
Right.
And growing up, my family's from Jamaica, so growing up under a Jamaican household, any type of athletics, any type of endeavors that Jamaicans in, whether it's education, business, athletics, you always support them with 100%.
Yep.
So with Ewing now, that was my earliest recollection of basketball was just, Channel 4, NBA on NBC's, the Sunday matinee, the triple header, Knicks would be first. It'd be Knicks Bulls, Knicks Celtics, Knicks Pistons, and just the emotions that were invoked from those games. It just made me fall in love with the Knicks,
I look back at him, the ice on the knees and the towel and he carry himself up the court. I mean, he was just a true warrior.
He put it all on the line for us, man. And unfortunately, we're in 2020 now, and it seems like since we traded the captain in 2000, we've just never been able to recover. How do you, as a season ticket holder, through that era, you went through the Marbury section. Well, first, the end of Houston Sprewell. Houston got the $100 million contract. Couldn't move faster than the snail. You have the Marbury era, rife with turmoil with Isaiah, Nuka Brown Sanders, into Melo and so on. How did you, as a season ticket holder, how did you continue to go?
For me, it was an outlet. I mean, I think, it's just kind of in your blood a little bit. I think if I think any Knicks fan who's gone through the 90s teams, I think we're cursed. I just think that it's in our blood. We're not going anywhere. We're not going anywhere. If you went through like some of these things, I don't know if you can see them in the shot, but if you go through the Pacers, the Heat, the Bulls, that energy that they had, it's just in your blood. And I just think that, you kept believing and believing and believing to a fault. Like, that's where we get the delusional term from. I just think Knicks fans we're the best fan base in the world.
It's true, man.
In the world. And, we're very passionate, and maybe to a fault, people are scared to play here, I think. It takes a special person. I mean, that's why, I know people give Melo a lot of, there's depending on what side you're on, he wasn't the perfect player for us, but he was such a, he embraced it, and I think that's why he'll get some love.
That was a tough era. I mean, as we close out the decade, that decade was characterized almost by Melo for the most part. I mean, 100%. He spent quite some time with the Knicks. Obviously, there was the whole summer of LeBron and chasing that, and after we flopped there, then you bring in Amari. What was it like at the Garden? Amari had a hot streak before Melo came in, man.
MVP-like.
They ran him to the ground, but what was that like?
Amari came in MVP-like. He played great. I remember when we got him, I mean, he was obviously the Knicks. I feel like when they struck out on LeBron, they probably felt such pressure. They felt the pressure to do something, and I think Amari kind of, fit that bill. From what I understand, I think there was an insurance policy on Amari, if I remember correctly.
They didn't get the insurance policy.
They didn't get it because they knew. I'm not going to mention names, but I know somebody an NBA source, if you want to call it, who used to tell me little things, and my understanding was Phoenix knew his knee was not going to hold up over a couple years. His days were numbered.
His days were definitely numbered.
And it started with the Knicks, so he was probably happy to take that money. I was kind of happy to have him at the same time because he re-energized the fan base.
He did.
So I thought he played great, but it wore on him over the years, so it never really worked out.
Melo just returned to the Garden as a member of the Blazers. They could keep asking him about the Raptors question about jersey retirement. Give me your takes on this, man. Should number 7 go up in the Raptors?
But just because I liked Melo, I do see the faults he had. The things I loved about him is I was fortunate enough to meet him once or twice. He was great to my kid. I remember trying to get something signed we had the security guard standing there, one per person, whatever. My son had 2 things, and he was like, no, you give it to me. And he was just the kind of guy, and I've heard other stories about him where he's a really good person. It just, the ISO ball, some of that stuff was, but he shouldered it, and but the rafters is a different thing. I mean, where's the bar on the rafters?
Different thing, man. It's for excellence. It's for
excellence.
And Melo was my favorite player to this day.
Right.
You know, Melo's my guy on and off the court. Like you said, I've heard many stories about him just from a personal standpoint, how he gave back to the fans, and it really goes unnoticed sometimes.
You can't just give that away.
You can't just give it away, man.
There's not enough.
Just wasn't enough wins.
That's exactly what it is. It's just sadly there was just not enough wins to warrant putting your number up there.
If he gets us to the Eastern Conference Finals with Knicks team,
listen, if he's going to go up there, you got to put King up there first.
You got to put
right?
Bernard up there first.
I mean, if we're doing that,
I'm
not even sure. And I love King. You know, so he's since become a Hall. I was on the fence too about King because he had
2 years.
It's not a lot of time. It's not a lot of time. Now he felt like longer because he was hurt, and back then the injuries, you know, it took 2.5 years for him to come back. It was a big deal. Then now they just kind of, I don't know, use a little machine and they're back.
That's it.
But back then it was a big deal when he came back, and you know, I just think like if he had a longer career, I mean, I would consider King now, and believe me, he's my number one. I think he's probably.
You think we should maybe lower the standards a little bit, and then. Because some teams do it, man.
I know, but I don't know. I don't know. That's saying nobody could ever wear that number again.
Yeah. I don't think we should do it. I think we should keep it as is. You've heard Starks, you've heard Oakley.
Yeah.
As much as I love them, I don't think they're as deserving of it either. I think it has to be for excellence.
But then you see a point guard like Frank Williams, was it? Who wore 30?
Oh, Frank Williams.
And I see that, and I'm like, I don't know. I mean, you got Randall wearing 30 now.
So let's talk about the present day. And after 20 years of futile management, it seems like they're trying to build something here. Give me your thoughts on this current state of the Knicks, right?
You know, the Knicks we don't know how to be patient, I think, is the big problem, because we had so many setbacks, so many things done wrong, so many things that set that timetable back so far. That we're just a hungry, like we're already giving up on the plan. Like when this team did the plan B, we'll call it, when they got Randall and all those veterans, you forget it was designed to like have that flexibility in a year and then build pieces, and so I kind of expected. Our fan base just gets mad. Yeah. Like they just want to blow it up.
We're an impatient bunch, man.
You gotta be patient. You gotta be patient. We know Band-Aids don't work. I mean, how many more years you want to go? You know, you hear like the Morris discussion. Like, do you trade him? I love Morris. I another guy who I think brings the culture, brings all these things. I'm not going to give him away, but I would try to move him.
Same here.
I would try to move him.
Yeah.
Not because I don't love him, but I won't give him away just because I think he brings so much to the culture. But to make your team better and take that next step, he doesn't fit the timeline.
Agree with you 100%. There's no doubt his impact on the youngsters, right? Even Mitch,
right.
Frank, RJ. He's a leader on this team, and I think he brings that toughness, that energy that we've sorely missed. And like you, I wouldn't give him away, but you have to do what's best for the
Certainly don't let him walk away.
No, and that's
because he did everything we wanted.
Exactly.
Right? He came here. He's putting up. I mean, I had no idea he was this good. I mean, I think he's really good, but. We got him with the. I mean, he probably knew it too, right? Although he says he wants to stay, but come here for a year, showcase yourself in New York, what better stage, and then go on to he deserves to be on a contender.
I think so, and if we can get him to a contender and then bring him back. We can sign him to a larger deal on 1 year, maybe not a multi-year deal, but we can pay him a lot of money if he wants to go somewhere, play for something real, and come back. So I think it's something that
we'll see if he's real then.
We'll see how. We'll see.
Do you want to come back? Because we can do it that way.
We'll see if he backs it up, man. I just think going forward, the focus still has to be on the youngsters, right? It has to be on RJ. It has to be. Frank has 2 more years of development here. What's going to happen after that? Kevin Knox. Mitchell Robinson, obviously. So we have to continue to see the growth and development of this team. What do you think about Mike Miller?
You know what? I like Mike Miller so far. I mean, God, I think Fizdale's a great guy. I got to meet him once before. But he's making. It looks clear, right? I mean, the team's competitive. Probably every game except one. He makes adjustments.
A lot of improvements.
Yeah, he makes adjustments. He seems to hold people accountable. I think it's I'm not going to throw him everything just yet, but I think he should be considered for.
I think you know me. I've always told you Van Gundy and all that. That's more for sentimental reasons, and as much as I respected Jeff as a coach, but I still think you have to consider a coach who is going to have patience.
Sure.
With these kids to build them up and is in it for the long haul.
Right.
I'm not sure if a Van Gundy can do it for I think we need to keep that stability.
He's got a TV gig. I mean, I sometimes I find myself saying Van Gundy would be perfect because I grew up in that era.
Right.
I know if Van Gundy's here, I know his head is good. He's going to be the hardest worker on the thing. But sometimes it's that guy, that blue collar guy who came up through the ranks, going through the G League, and I think that I didn't know a lot about Mike Miller, but he's it's impressive so far. I think with what he's like to be thrown in the middle of this, in the middle of the season, and get some kind of results. I mean, we're not winning everything, but we're close to 500 since he's been here in midseason.
Yeah, since he's been here, absolutely.
Right.
Like I said, you've definitely seen the improvements. Out of the youngsters that we have right now, the core that's here right now, who are you most impressed with? Who do you like the most?
Wow, it's a tough one. Obviously, I'm cheering for RJ. I love his whole attitude. Came here, embraced it, put it on his shoulders. But Mitch is really what's impressive.
That's my guy.
That's your guy. I know he's your guy. He's just like a breath of fresh air. He's again another guy we're lucky enough to meet. He's like a big kid, and I don't even think I don't know who said, was it Mello who said that he doesn't even think he knows how good he can be.
Yep.
If I just want him to learn a couple baby hook, just I don't know, because everything he's doing is impulse. It's
impactful.
It's impactful, and he's doing it without running a play for him.
Right.
I mean, unless you count the lobs that they're doing for him, but he doesn't have a go-to move, and he's still getting, so he can stay out of foul trouble. I mean, he's like the anchor of the defense.
Leading the league in second chance points right now.
Incredible.
And in limited minutes.
Incredible.
I mean, you got to think about it. He's coming off the bench. He's only averaging maybe around 20-something minutes a
Right.
game. So, as you said, I think Mitch, the key to his development is going to be, can he create his own shot?
Right.
Like a little high percentage shot here and there. Obviously, the lobs are critical. I think you've seen him set a lot more better screens since Miller's been in. He's playing a lot more disciplined.
Yep.
So, I think the sky is the limit for Mitch, man.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
and he wears your shirts.
Yeah, that's
And
it.
he wears your shirts.
And he's a supporter of KnicksFanTV, man.
Right,
That's my guy.
I mean, you got to keep him.
Yeah.
You got to keep him for no other reason.
That's my guy, man. Give me your all-time starting five. Who's your year 5 that you would throw out there?
Since I've been watching them?
Since you've been watching them.
Okay, so I'm not saying Frazier then, because I didn't really see Frazier.
All right, so let's start from
the championship. How about the
saw?
championship teams?
Sure.
Let's go from the championship teams. I mean, I don't know how you could. I think Frazier's. Again, I didn't get to see him play, but I'm a little bit of a historian. I mean, I can't imagine that. I think he's probably considered the greatest Knick ever. I'm sure there's some Ewing people, but he got the 2 rings. He's still with the Knicks. He's flamboyant. He's I think
he's a relic, man. He's a relic.
That's it. He's on the Knick Mount Rushmore for sure.
Of course.
So he's got to be your point guard. 2 guard. Gosh. I mean, I'm probably going to get blasted for this, but I mean, I know you want you're supposed to say Earl Monroe. I'm thinking
whoever you want. This is your team, man. This is your team.
I mean, I'm just such a John Starks guy. I mean, I know it. I know it's not the sexy answer.
Yeah.
But the guy, he has so much heart. He's like one of us. He's the guy I like to cheer for. So I'm putting him on my team. I'm putting him on my guy. I'm putting him on my guy.
Yeah,
it's my guy. Small forward. I mean, do I even have to say Bernard King? King's my guy. I think I'm going Ewing at center. Power forward, I guess I got to go Oak. I'm going to go Oak.
Okay.
I'm going to go Oak.
All right.
Could be, I mean, if Sotomayor were healthy, I might look at that a little harder.
Interesting. So you're going
Clyde. Am I missing someone at power forward? Who am I not thinking about?
Power forward.
Could Mello play power forward?
How about Willis, the captain?
You got Willis, too.
I mean, the captain, he was versatile, man. He was a 6'9" center out there.
I don't want to play anymore. I don't want to play anymore.
Yeah.
I don't want to play anymore.
It's a lot of decisions, man. A lot of history.
I know.
So even though the season's been rough, man, me and you went to a good game, man. Knicks versus Dallas.
That was
the
good.
return
That
of
was fun.
Kristaps Porzingis. I mean, that had to have been the most electric MSG's been in a while.
It was unreal. I mean, that's what it felt. That's what it used to feel like. I mean, that's why I try to get my kids involved in the Knicks. They just don't have that. That was I should have. I mean, as much as I had fun with you, I had to get my kids to that game.
Yeah.
You were lucky enough, and I'm so happy to have you there. But yeah, the energy. If nothing else, that was like a personal championship.
Yeah,
it was fun to see.
We had the Morris buzzer beater.
The Morris buzzer beater that we predicted.
We
Did we not?
Did we not?
We called the play. We have proof.
We need a bucket. Who did the Knicks go to right now?
It should be RJ, but I'm thinking it's got to be Morris right now. I'm going Morris.
Go to Mook. Let's go to Mook. Let's go to Mook. Play. Not shoot. Got it! Yeah!
So yeah, so that was a lot of fun. Glad we got the win, swept the Mavericks, and yeah.
Absolutely, man. Well, listen, man, it was definitely a pleasure. Thank you for giving me a tour of the fan cave. This is one of the most insane fan caves I've ever seen. This is why we had to have this as the next episode.
We'll have to do one of your watch games. We
will definitely do a part 2 of this
some of your
and do a watch along, man.
For sure.
So thanks again for having us, man.
Absolutely,
man. All right, Knicks Nation, let me know what you thought about Chris's fan cave in the comment section below. As usual, smash that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel, and share these videos. Check out some more of our content at your upper left-hand corner. Peace. Salute to Knicks Nation. For the regular season finale of Knicks Post Game Live on April 15th against the Timberwolves, one lucky Knicks fan will win the New Era snapback and the autographed John Starks picture. Thanks again to Chris Shamus for the giveaway.